I want to take you guys along for the whole week and show you some of the tasty things that we have eaten. Lately, I've been listening to How to Raise Mentally Strong Children by Dr. Amen while I work around the kitchen. And it's brought up a lot of thoughts about my own parenting journey. When I became a mom in my 20s, I was determined to do things differently from how I was raised. You know, the classic millennial dilemma. I spent a lot of time reflecting on my childhood and the kind of parent I wanted to be. At the time, I focused heavily on the things I wanted to do differently. But as I've gotten older, I've gained a much deeper appreciation for my parents. I've realized that parenting is incredibly humbling and that they were human too, doing the best that they could with what they knew at the time, just like I am. Learning to appreciate what they did well, while extending grace for the things that weren't perfect, has brought me so much peace. It helped me stop parenting from a place of reaction and trauma and start parenting more intentionally. What I didn't realize at the time was that in trying so hard to avoid being too strict, I became very permissive. I wanted my children to be happy, and if they were upset, disappointed, or frustrated, or struggling, I felt so responsible for fixing it. As a young parent, I thought that making my kids happy meant I was being a good parent. Looking back, I can see that I was often stepping in too quickly. I wasn't giving them enough opportunities to work through frustration, tolerate disappointment, solve problems, make mistakes, or experience the satisfaction that comes from earning something through their own effort. I also struggled with consistency. Boundaries would change depending on how tired I was, how overwhelmed I felt, or how much pushback I was getting. And honestly, I was overwhelmed a lot. There were seasons of parenting where I felt completely exhausted. I remember feeling like I was constantly managing emotions, negotiations, arguments, and meltdowns. At the time, I thought I was helping by making things easier for my children. But in many ways, I was carrying burdens that did not belong to me. One of the biggest lessons I've been learning recently is that children are far more capable than we give them credit for. They are capable of waiting. They are capable of handling disappointment. They're capable of solving problems. They're capable of doing hard things. And they're capable of learning how to manage uncomfortable emotions. I've come to see that my job isn't to remove every obstacle or prevent every difficult feeling. My job is to help them build the confidence that they can handle those things. One thing this book talks about is helping children feel empowered, and that idea has really stayed with me. When we constantly rescue our children from discomfort, we unintentionally send the message that they can't handle it on their own. But when we stay calm, stay consistent, and allow them to work through challenges, we are showing them that they are capable. This shift has brought me so much peace. Not because parenting is easy, but because I no longer feel responsible for making everybody happy all the time. I can stay calm when my children are disappointed. I can stay consistent when they don't like the answer. And I can trust that learning to cope with frustration, work towards goals, and solve problems, it's part of growing into a capable adult. One thing that stands out to me now is that resilience isn't something that we can give our children. It's something they build through experience. And sometimes the most loving thing we can do is step back just enough to let them discover how capable they really are. What's interesting is that the same lesson seems to apply to so many areas of life. Just like I don't make all of our food in one day, I don't expect growth to happen all at once either. Small things done consistently over time have a way of building something strong, whether it's sourdough, family rhythms, or raising children. It's often the little things we do every day that matter the most. And on this video, I have kind of taken a recap of 6 days of small tasks daily that add up to a fridge full of baked goods and homemade things for the family with just a little bit of effort every day. Small effort consistently yields less stress, I think, and a much smoother week as well. Now, all of the baking that I have showed in this video doesn't happen weekly. I like to make double, triple batches sometimes of things, and I freeze some and I let some just sit in the fridge for people to just grab. And it just allows things to run smoothly with breakfast and lunches and snacks. One last thing that I have found really helpful and I was super resistant to for the longest time is having a meal plan. It's not super strict. It's quite open actually, but it does give me some structure and planning, and I know what to get at the grocery store for every meal every week. So it can be quite simple. For example, Mondays could be soup. Tuesdays, a rice bowl. Wednesdays, something with potatoes. Thursdays, Mexican night. Fridays, sometimes curry or pasta. And the general idea is to have a plan of what every day is going to be like, but also it's loose enough to allow seasonal changes and different produce to be used, so it doesn't get too boring or restrictive. What I love about my loose meal plan is that on soup night we could have so many different types of soups, like lentil soup, we could have barley soup, we could have potato soup, we could have a chowder, we could have miso soup. And on Tuesdays, rice bowls can use so many different vegetables and proteins. And for potato night, we could have mashed potatoes, potato salad, fried potatoes, baked potatoes. So that openness really allows for me to feel like I can have something that I want and I don't have that restriction, which sometimes doesn't feel good. I don't know why. It's just the way that I am. But definitely gives me enough direction so I don't feel kind of stressed last minute, don't know what to make for dinner, which happened for years and years and years. This is just some pumpkin bread that I was craving and it came out quite delicious. I can share the recipe if anybody's interested. Just let me know. Thanks for watching.